Wait, I think I got a flat tire. I can't believe it, I just got a flat tire. Day 0, Noelia falls down. Day 1, I get a flat tire.
Oh no, and what are we going to do?
Today we're going to start a 988-kilometer adventure in which we're going to go around the biggest island in all of China. And fortunately we're not alone because, as you can see, there are a lot of excited young people behind us. There are also motorcyclists and all kinds of road trip enthusiasts who frequently come to do the same route. To get here we had to take a ferry, but to get to the ferry we had to ride our bikes, and Noelia almost literally killed herself. We were very lucky because the traffic was stopped, but we ended up in the hospital. She had to get a shot and we had to stop for a day. But now that everything is fine, let's get started. I showed it to you in the previous video, but this is the point where everything begins. This is where you'll find the commemorative stone that marks the CEO kilometer of what the locals call the Hainan Scenic Coastal Road. There are so many people taking pictures here. Motorcyclists, young and professional cyclists, elderly cyclists, but all extremely professional and experienced. I was just talking to one of them, and he told us that they went all the way around the island in 6 days, which means they did more than 100 kilometers every day. They're probably over 60 years old. The gentleman was smoking and he told me, yeah, piece of cake, we figured we'd do, what do you think, Perfy?
30 kilometers.
We'll see how it goes. Welcome, very loaded. Why? Because we want to camp, we want to record, we want to edit and show you interesting places.
We want to experience life.
We're done. I'll take a picture like him and climb the rock. Are you going to be Yao, king of the rock? Yes, I'm going to be Yao, king of the rock. But yes, only if we finish, and for that we first have to start. Since we have no experience and don't know where to start, we depend on the locals to guide our journey. So we're going to talk to some of them to see what they tell us. Are my brothers done already?
No, we're just about to start.
Ah, I thought you were already finished. So, how are you doing it? Are you using the map or something? Ah, you speak English so well.
You need a map. We're going to start from the west, heading towards Sanya.
And why did you choose the west instead of the east?
Because of the wind.
The wind? How many days do you think it will take to get to the island?
8 days. Have you ever driven a car?
No. And also, look, we have all that stuff.
I think there are a lot of people on this route and you can find your friends. Do you have friends?
Yes, is this the first time you see the others? Yes, no way, that's great. How did you meet? TikTok is really interesting because they don't know each other. They're people who connected through TikTok and agreed to do it together. It's amazing because I don't think it's something that common, at least in Mexico, or when I was there it wasn't that common to meet up with a stranger to go on a 10-day trip, right? Yeah, and they were inviting us to join them and I promise you I would have loved to. But we're in the worst physical shape of our lives. When I tell you we're in the worst physical shape of our lives, I'm telling you with facts because before starting this trip we went to get a body metrics analysis or whatever it's called, and it didn't turn out very well. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we decided to start this project specifically this year, because maybe it's a way to get in shape, and if not, at least we'll have the story to tell.
Are you ready?
No, but let's start at kilometer 0. Let's see if in the end it really shows 988 or something close, because we'll stop at some places along the way. Our journey begins in the city of Haikou, which is one of the most important cities in Hainan. Hainan is the largest island in China and is also known as the Chinese Hawaii, which interestingly in ancient times was considered an earthly hell. In fact, it was used as a place of punishment for corrupt government officials who were isolated and sent here, where they were very far from the empire, very far from their families, and where the weather conditions were supposed to be terrible. Most of them suffered a lot, but there were others who adapted. Like in the case of the poet Dong Po, who is very famous and revered here in China, who brought his whole family, and eventually he enjoyed the tropical lifestyle. And it was more peaceful here compared to what he had in the capital of the empire. But well, let's see how the island treats us, because this is also a typhoon zone. In fact, the last time we were here there was a pretty strong typhoon and we had to stay trapped in a hotel for about 3 days because it wouldn't stop raining. Let's hope everything goes well this time. It's not typhoon season and the weather conditions are pretty good.
The thing is, it's not just the typhoons. We've had really bad luck at the beaches.
We haven't seen a beach without rain in years. Let's hope this time is different. Wow, what a cute kitten. Thanks. What's his name? Puff.
I'm going to take him to the bathroom.
Wow, he's really cool. So he's not going to come out. He's not going to come out. Well, goodbye, Puff. Goodbye. When the guys said they were going west to go with the wind, honestly, deep down I thought, oh, come on, guys, how much difference can it really make? But now that we're going in the opposite direction and I feel the wind blasting in my face, well, I'm starting to think maybe they weren't so crazy after all. I hope it doesn't affect us in the long run, and remember, we're on an island here. The wind really blows here. Are you sure you won't reconsider? I'm really curious about how the rest of the journey will be, because Haikou is one of the biggest cities on the island. Here you can see a lot of infrastructure, huge buildings, and yeah, it looks like a high-tech city. There are some impressive buildings. We're also going to pass through more rural areas where there isn't necessarily a large population. Last year, when we did the China tour, we passed through some places like Wenchang, which are pretty small cities. So you're going to see different faces of China, but all within the same island. Another very interesting thing is that we're traveling on the eve of the new year. If you notice, right in front they're putting up the decorations, which will soon adorn the whole city. Also, a lot of people are going to start arriving. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to start the tour from the east, which is the most touristy area. That way, when people start arriving, we'll already be on the west side, which isn't as visible. At least that was our logic. Hi, is this for Chinese New Year? Not yet.
Not yet?
When is it?
It's on February 16th.
There will probably be a lot of people around that time. Besides this, what else will there be? Will there be activities?
Yes, of course.
Understood, thank you. Happy New Year, may you all get rich. We'll get rich together. Here in China, the way to wish someone a Happy New Year is to wish them to get rich, so I wished her to get rich, and she replied, together we'll get rich, so you should learn that. Congratulations, may you get rich. We just realized that we're right next to the beach, and this might be our last chance to say goodbye to the city of Haikou properly. Let's go. We've done 12.5 kilometers, and the drone made me feel like this was already the road out. I think we're just getting started. According to this, we still have 38 hours, 37 minutes, and 527 kilometers to go to reach the halfway point. Keep in mind, that's just to the halfway point.
According to the original route that's already mapped out, our first stop is Baishamen, which is 26 kilometers from the port we left from, but it's still within the city of Haikou. And as we've told you before, cities in China are huge, even if they're on an island. And we would still have about another 20 kilometers to go before we can leave the city. I found a very interesting place that maybe we could reach today, but I'm still not very sure because we've never done this distance before, and from here to there it's 41 kilometers. I know that for many experts it might not sound like a long distance, but for us who struggled to cover 30 kilometers in one day, it's a real challenge.
I don't think it's realistic. We've done 13.5, and adding 40 more means 53 on day one. Can we really manage that? I think we can, but how we feel when we wake up tomorrow, that's what really worries me.
What we're going to do is get to Baishamen, which is also a very famous beach, also for camping. That's our checkpoint. If all's well, we'll continue, otherwise we'll camp there.
The day is spectacular, the ocean looks amazing, and also this is a virgin beach. There still aren't any resorts here, there's no hotel zone. Look, all that this island still has left to be developed. Keep in mind that 20 years ago, tourism didn't exist, at least not here. In fact, Sanya, which is the most famous city for tourism, didn't have all the luxury hotels that exist today 20 years ago. And nowadays you can find everything from the MGM to the St. Gregory's. And interestingly, there's an area that's full of Russians. Why is that? Because winter over there is very cold, it's very harsh for them. Hainan was something cheap, it was relatively close, and that's why there are a lot of signs in Russian. We just found the first camping area along our route, and it's great because it costs you 20 yuan per parking space. If you want to stay here for a month, it's very affordable for your family with no hotel costs and a private beach. Also, they have all the services out here. There are bathrooms, showers, and they even have lockers, so if you want to stay here for 6 months, you won't have any problem. And there are some really interesting campers. Look, we arrived at lunchtime. Hello.
Hello?
Are you having lunch?
Yeah, we just ate
Very good. Where are you from?
from Beijing.
Did you drive all the way here? How long did it take you?
4 days. Yeah.
4 days? Pretty fast.
Where are you from?
From Mexico and Spain, we're going around the island. We're also going to camp. Is it free?
Here they charge 20 yuan per night.
We'll have to see how it is in Baishamen because there are places like that there too.
Look at this recreational vehicle. It's awesome, Noelia. It's Hello Kitty. Wow, hello. I love your recreational vehicle.
Thank you very much.
Did you buy it like this?
No, I put the stickers on it.
Where are you guys from?
From Shandong.
The hometown of Confucius? You can even bring bicycles, right?
Also electric scooters.
Electric scooter? Wow, where do they take it?
In the back.
Are you coming alone?
We are a family.
We are passing by the Haikou clock tower, which is one of the few remaining memories of the old Haikou. And the thing is, the architecture of this city used to be quite colonial because this was a very important commercial port. And therefore the city center has many Chilo-style buildings which are pretty much like the arcades in Mexico City, and they make you feel like you're in another country.
One of the things I'm enjoying most about exploring the island by bike is that we can stop and there are delicious food carts everywhere.
Wow, I can't resist. I need to try their Chinese lasagna. How much is it?
10 yuan per order.
Good, nice and cheap. I'll have an order and a sausage, but make it really spicy. How much are they? 4 yuan. What time do you start working?
I just arrived.
Oh, that's good. What do you have here?
What pasta?
Do you have drinks?
Coconut water.
You can't resist me. It's only 18.38 kilometers and we've already stopped like 20 times. Whether it's to see the beach, to eat, or to take a picture, we'll never get there at this rate.
Now, do you understand why we can't do 60 kilometers in one day? This is us.
Is it a Chinese corn dog or a Chinese hot dog? They put chili powder on it, they put barbecue powder on it.
And it's vegetarian.
And it's vegetarian. This is made of flour, it's not meat, so it's suitable for anyone.
Except for those who are on a diet.
Well, we broke the diet.
And the other thing we ordered is a khao long mein, which is like a cold noodle dish. They put it on the grill with some sauces, some spices. They add sausage or chicken. You can choose the ingredients you want from here. They also add a little bit of onion, garlic, some veggies, and it's delicious. It's a great snack for the road.
Oh, that's delicious.
Here is our khao long mein. It smells amazing, as my mom would say, and it looks delicious. Max just called it Chinese lasagna, and I think that name makes perfect sense.
Is it from here?
Yes,
Is he Han ethnicity?
correct.
There's also the Li minority, right?
Yes, there are Han, Miao,
What languages do the locals speak?
several Hainan dialect, Tanka.
Which one do you speak?
Hainan dialect.
Is it very different from Mandarin Chinese?
How do you say hello?
Oh, is it the one that's similar to the Guangdong dialect?
Kind of.
Is he here every day?
Yes.
Are there a lot of people here?
Not here, over there.
Is Baishaman over there? Not even the palm trees can keep this road from being amazing. But in this part of the city, there's a lot more traffic, especially electric scooters. And suddenly it gets a little scary because we have our suitcases and we still can't really handle them. In fact, a while ago, I bumped into an electric scooter and fortunately, I didn't lose my balance. And another thing is that Noelia just ran a red light and it was bad. I looked up and the next thing I knew, she was dodging cars and Noelia had a lost look on her face. I guess we were already learning. We decided to make a stop to show you one of the strangest and most attractive buildings we've seen in this country, and it's the Worm Library. And its Chinese name is Chongdong, which actually comes from Chongzi, meaning insect. So it would be like the insect cave if we translate it literally, but the English name is wormhole. This strange building was designed by an architect named Ma Yanzong, who was a direct student of the very famous architect Zaha Hadid, and her style is very noticeable. She liked to use curved, continuous shapes, and in this case the idea was to create a sculpted cave. as if over time, as if it were the wind erosion that had created these seemingly extraterrestrial shapes. At the same time, she put a little lake here that looks very, very beautiful with the bridge in the background. And on the other side are the buildings and one of the most modern areas of Haikou. This library opened its doors in the year 2021. Right when we were going through the pandemic. That's why it didn't start appearing on the internet until around 2023 or 2024. But that's for sure, nowadays it has become extremely popular and it's one of the spots that everyone has to visit. That's why there are a lot of photographers here who offer their services to the girls and guys who want their photo for Instagram. It's something very common all over China. You'll always see these kinds of people handing out professional cameras, iPads, and showing you the results. And there are a lot of people who bring their own photographers, but we're more into videos, not photos. Or, well, do you want to take some photos? I remember that getting in can be a bit complicated and they don't allow recording. Let's see if they'll let us in because I think you have to register, and for foreigners it's not that easy. The library is so beautiful. These are the stairs and it has skylights everywhere. It really makes you feel like you're in a wormhole. Wow.
What a view, right?
What a view. Imagine coming to study here.
And it's public.
This is the most surprising thing about China, that you find impressive public buildings everywhere, and this is the most interesting part. We could have finally come here to sleep. I imagine there are people who come here just to take a nap because it's very comfortable. Look at the sofas here. You can come to charge your devices. You can come to study.
What a place, right?
This is spectacular, and this is just day one of our journey. Imagine the things we're going to find. Look at the view from the library. How did you train her?
Nothing, just by leaving the house.
Does she like to come?
Yes, she's there.
We have 2 cats, but they don't like to snoop around. They get scared if they see the door. Did you bring her since she was little?
Yes.
Wow. How sweet. You only see these things in China. Buildings shaped like worm caves, beautiful views, and cats roaming the streets. It's time to get back on our way because we still have... How much farther do we have to go, Furby?
6.3 kilometers. It's not that much anymore.
No, it's nothing now. We have 6.3 kilometers left to the place where we're going to camp. I would even say that we could keep going, but I think it would be a bit reckless given your condition. It's better to wait and see how we feel in the morning, and then we can gradually increase the distance. What's up, Bill? Traffic, right? How are we supposed to get through here? Man, this is a mess. Obviously, we're already entering the city center. Look at all the food. Look, a kaobozi. I want a kaobozi. How much are the empanadas?
5 yuan.
Are they beef? Yes, we also have pork and lamb. These are the famous kaobaozi, which are from Xinjiang, but every time I see them, I can't resist. They're good. Where do they come from?
From Urumqi.
We've been there. How much?
Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico in North America, below the United States. The good thing about places with a lot of people is that there's food everywhere. We're arriving at the old street of Haikou, where you can see some impressive buildings called Chilu. It's a very beautiful place. We'll make a quick stop to show you, then head to the campsite since it's getting dark. As you probably already know or have noticed, it's almost impossible to find parking here, especially with all our luggage. So Noelia is going to stay for a moment at that restaurant where they let us put the bikes while I briefly show you the downtown area of Haikou. Why am I not going to stay here for long? Because 2 years ago we made a full video about the city of Haikou where we explained the history of this place in detail. But look, today there are more people and they even have a performance. They have a free live show of Chinese opera. I don't know what the reason or the occasion is, but it really brings the place to life. But now let me show you what a silu is. You can find this type of building in many cities that used to be very important trading ports in China, but why should I just tell you about it if I can show you? Welcome to downtown Haikou, a wonderful place you wouldn't expect to find in China. Let's just say these cities are like unicorns in this country. Something I really like is that you can find statues that reflect what life was like back then. Look, the gentleman, with his hat, his camera, and his trunk, and I'm surprised by how many people there are. As I mentioned before, when Noelia and I came, there was a typhoon, so there wasn't much tourism, people weren't out on the streets, and the weather was terrible. But now that we're in the middle of the season, when it's not too hot and people are about to go on vacation, this place is packed. If you come to Haikou, you can't miss a walk around this area. And remember that while you're here, you have to try the sour soup. It's really good and a bit spicy, and you can find it at any restaurant in the downtown area. Walking through this part of Haikou strangely feels like going back to downtown Mexico City. And if you go to the Zocalo, which is a beautiful area, you'll find rivers of people just like this. And the architectural style is also somewhat similar, which would make sense because they come from the same colonial era. I'd say this is maybe a bit more chaotic. Just look at the chaos of the electric scooters weaving between the pedestrians and the fruit stands on the sides. You've probably already seen this fruit. It's the smelliest fruit in the world, known as durian. Here the Chinese love it, especially in the south. Just look at these alleys. It's all about getting lost in there and trying the delicious food they have here. Obviously, seafood is very popular here. Shellfish, octopus, squid, you can try them on skewers, which is the typical way. Last time I drank it, it went to my head.
That's the best part.
Yeah, but I was already dizzy.
Didn't it help you find a girlfriend?
No,
What do you mean?
that's the saddest part. Nobody liked it. And what's this?
Clam paste.
Is it fruit?
Better than fruit.
Without that, you can't get it up, right?
Yes.
And these?
That's how they're together.
So does he wrap them up all the time?
You can take this.
Thank you.
There's also orange juice.
What is this?
Rice pudding.
I'll buy the coconut water. How much is it? 8 wen.
You're very handsome.
Thank you, it makes me blush.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I'm married.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I've been married for 3 years. This is the famous Bing Lang. You'll find it everywhere here on Kayuan Island. And I said, no, the last time I tried it, I got really drunk. And he said, well, that's how it's supposed to be. Ready.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No, thank you. I didn't know you spoke English.
I studied a little.
What language do they speak here? There are many. Do you want to say hello? Cantonese food looks very similar. I don't know if you noticed that the saleswoman had. Her teeth were really red. Well, that's the effect of Binglan. When you chew it, it stains your mouth red, and over time it also rots your mouth. Many of them don't have teeth anymore, some have completely black teeth, and she was also wearing some gloves. I imagine it's corrosive to the skin because I read somewhere that it can give you mouth cancer if you consume it frequently, and the problem is that it's quite addictive. So many people who live on this island are addicted, and therefore no matter where you walk you can find these red stains everywhere. Since Binglan makes you salivate a lot and people keep spitting. Honestly, it's a bit unpleasant to see the process, but well, it's part of the local culture. As the Chinese say, Ru Shan Sui, which means when in Rome, do as the Romans do. What a mess you are, baby. Yeah, I saw what's going on. The grandma passing right here in the middle of the street. This really is organized chaos. I tell Noelia that sometimes I feel like it's a miracle people survive in these circumstances. There are motorcycles carrying 3 people, which is illegal everywhere in China. Still, no one warned me about this climb. Noelia looks like a rocket. Wait, I think I got a flat tire. No, and I'm the only one who doesn't have a spare tube. Day 1, it can't be, I can't believe it, I just got a flat tire. How is this possible? The bike is new, it's the first time I'm using it. Call it bad luck, call it negligence. It was probably karma because the day Noelia told me to get a spare part, I said, oh Noelia, the bike is new. How do you think I'm going to get a flat tire, especially on a 10-day trip? Boom, I get a flat. The first day of the trip is amazing. We were just 3 kilometers from the campsite and now I don't know where we're going to fix it. I don't have the inner tube and don't know any bike shops. It's like a movie scene. Day 0, Noelia falls. Day 1, I get a flat tire. The good thing is Noelia has a repair kit. Let's see if that works. Disasters on wheels, you named it, not me. That's manifestation at its finest, because out of all the misfortunes that could have happened to us, this is probably the most harmless one. Because there's a giant store 750 meters away, and they told me they're waiting for me. So we're going to take off the tire and I'll have to take it to see what happens.
But how do you take off this tire?
I have no idea. We couldn't take off the tire. We're real idiots. So I'm going to have to drag my bike to the shop, which luckily is 750 meters away, but I don't know if that'll do more damage to the tire. It probably will. Just look at this craziness. The street is packed, you can't even walk, and crossing the street was a nightmare. I still have to get through all that to reach the shop, and then I have to do it again on the way back. Well, for Philan, what's going on? Good news, I made it to the giant store. Okay, bad news, they don't have my size.
Oh no, so what are we gonna do?
Do you remember how hard it was to find a bike in my size?
Oh no.
Yeah, so I don't know how we're going to proceed. He said he'll try to fix it, but the tire doesn't have a tube, so crisis averted. We did some damage control because they didn't have a tire, but they had natural latex sealant. I have no idea what it is. I'd never heard of it before, but artificial intelligence says it should hold. And the guy at the shop checked it and said he didn't see a big cut. So it's probably just a puncture and we should be fine since we've already arrived at the campsite. Finally, we wanted to arrive early to show you around because it's a spectacular place known as White Sand Beach. And there's even a fair and everything. But my tire burst and we ended up arriving really late, but fortunately the camping spot that Nekpur promised us does exist. There are a lot of people, most of them in campers. In fact, I don't see anyone on a bicycle, but well, it is what it is.